Good morning. My name is Rolf Pearce, and you would have received today this. Happy New Year from Colwich Parish Council. And you would have also been aware that our chairman, Paul Gilbert, has yet another rant, personal rant, being published at public expense and sent round the village concerning the housing provision. Point out that the provision of retirement homes is totally acceptable for somebody of his age, but now he thinks that the provision of affordable social housing is a problem. Well, it is. So I'll tell you why. Because affordable housing and social housing are two completely different things. I keep telling him this. Now, if you believed what he says in this, you would think that I was campaigning in this village for 3 or 4 brand new council estates to be built. And it's just nonsense. And I keep telling him it's nonsense. I keep saying to him, Paul, social housing is not affordable housing. I go around the village, I walk my dogs, I meet lots and lots of people around the village all the time, every day. And there are some of those people who are telling me that their young kids cannot afford to stay in the village. Why? Because there isn't any affordable housing. What do I mean by affordable housing? Let me be absolutely clear. What I mean by affordable housing is this. A property built specifically, right, to be bought by mortgage, but you only buy a percentage of the property. Everybody knows about them, right? So you buy 1/5 of the property. That allows you to get onto the housing market, housing ladder, shall I say. You can save up a deposit over a period of time. You've got a property to live in so that your family can grow up and go to the local schools. Yeah, that's what I want. I want 20 or 30 affordable houses to remain affordable for the local community. Now, there are a number of developers who've said they're quite happy to do that. But the Save the Haywoods group, the Sink the Haywoods group as I call them, just are totally against any development. And, you know, it says here about talking about the indigenous, people who might be coming to this community. Well, hold on a minute, Paul, and everybody else, including me. I'm not from this community. I wasn't born here. Very few people were. Anybody who can afford a mortgage can move into the village, and there's nothing you can do to stop them. So, what do you mean, Paul, by indigenous people? You know, since they've been forced, and I mean forced, to register the Save the Haywoods group on the Register of Interest, and since they've been forced to register all their business interests, and since they've been forced, or Paul Gilbert has been forced, to register the leadership of the England's parliamentary party, all of a sudden, indigenous or not, shows a little bit how he thinks as an individual. He wants local things for local people, as if it's an episode of the League of Gentlemen. Come on. We're not an inward-looking community. We're an outward-looking community and a forward-thinking people. And believe you me, I don't believe that he is right in thinking that I want 3 council estates to be built around this community. Because I'm telling you now, absolutely, categorically, I am not asking for that. I am asking for affordable housing so that the young people in this community can stay here, thrive here, and send them to our schools. In 10 years' time, I don't want to be sitting there and explaining to the community why a couple of pubs are shut and the schools are shut, because there aren't any young kids to go there, because the young people can't afford to move to our village. So that's very interesting. He mentions the 3 complainants. I am happy to admit I am the one from Crossheads. Yeah, it's taken me 2 years of complaining and campaigning to get them to register all their interests on the Register of Interest, and I'm proud of that. It's taken me 2 years to get them to realise that the neighbourhood plan that they're planning at the moment is more than a little bit dodgy in the way that they're doing it, and is costing an absolute fortune, totally unnecessarily. But they're starting to come round to my way of thinking. Why? Because I'm not right about everything. It's just that at the end of the day, when somebody is so wrong about things, that it becomes logic that they should be doing something else. So they talk about the chaos in the borough council. Well, they don't go out of their way to make a friend anywhere in the county, let alone the borough council. They really, really are, one of the most inept, incompetent councils in probable living memory. And this is how it goes. Paul Gilbert wants something done. Well, what's he going to do about it? I tell you what, he writes a letter, then he waits a month, and then they have another meeting. And then they read the letter, if they've had one. If they haven't had a letter, then they write another letter, a stern letter from Mr. Gilbert. And then they wait another month. And if they've had no response, or they've had a response, then they look at the response and say, well, I think we should do something about this. I'm not happy with this response, so they write another letter. In the meantime, that's 3-4 months have gone by. The whole of the way that Paul Gilbert runs this council is just so old-fashioned and old hat. If I was running the council, I would be saying to each individual council member, I want you to be a friend of each individual major department on the councils and go and see these people. Speak to them, pick up the phone, email them, do what you need to do, but use 21st century technology to get things done. It's not the fact that people aren't doing things as fast as you would like, Mr. Gilbert. It's the fact that you send them really awful, snotty letters, right, which just get put into a tray somewhere and ignored, where other people, other councils are using email and that sort of thing, are getting things done. It's you, Mr. Gilbert, who are totally behind the times and totally out of touch with the reality of the time. And he talks about the chaos and how it's anarchic. Well, 3 parish clerks in as many months. First one, you read my blog. It's all on my blog here. Read the articles, because I tell you what, it's a scandal what happened to Louise. Absolute scandal. And having another one and recruit them, and they only lasted a couple of months as well. And then having another one, well, let's hope he lasts. He seems to be a reasonable guy, so we'll just have to wait and see. But we've had that. The website's not been updated for 6 months. People just aren't aware of what's going on. It's just not acceptable. So, what I'm saying is that Paul Gilbert is using classic scare tactics from a right-wing organisation, which he is. England's parliamentary party, by the way, he's pulled the website because all the potty policies that he had on that website have now been cleared away, because now he's been forced to tell people that he's actually the leader of the England's parliamentary party. Bear in mind, he started off as a member of the Conservative Party, decided to leave there, then he joined UKIP, decided to leave there, then he joined Veritas. You remember orange-skinned Kilroy Silk? He joined Veritas, decided to leave there. Then he set up his own England parliamentary party, which has links to the EDL and BNP. Is that really how we want our community represented? I don't think so. And when you realise that, and then you start to read this again, you start to see how the politics is working in this village. And I want a complaint here, and I'm a Labour man. I want a complaint here, yeah? The parish council isn't about this type of politics. It isn't, it never should be. It's about a group of local people getting together to do the right thing. But what we've had with the Save the Haywoods group is something completely different. They meet outside of the parish council chamber. They discuss things outside of the parish council chamber. Because there's more of them than anybody else on the committee, what do? They just come in, have a very quick debate, which is hardly any debate at all, and then they just go through what they want. The community is not involved in that. In fact, The only good things that are happening in the community, like the clothing collections and the activities outside of the school holidays for the kids, and things like the flower shows and all this, are all organised outside of the parish council. Parish council at the moment is doing actually very little for this community. I'll keep you updated, I'll keep you up to speed with what's going on, and I'll let you know what the realities are of this, what has now become a piece of propaganda for Paul Gilbert and his view on the world. So come on, ladies and gentlemen, you know you can do better, you know you're more intelligent than this. Don't be fooled by the sort of things that are put out these days. Investigate for yourself. Write letters to the council, email them, turn up at the meetings, see what actually goes on. When you actually see what goes on, you'll realise how incompetent this group are. Yeah? They say they're trying to protect us, but in reality they're selling us down the river, and we've got to do something about it. I don't mind helping you out with that, and I will be there, and I will keep an eye on them for you. So keep an eye on this blog, press the button, subscribe to it, so as soon as I hear something else that's going on, I'll get it published. If you know of anything that I should know about, that you want publicising but you don't want the flag to fly at you, then let me know. My number is 01889 882 619. My home address is number 4 Crossheads, Colwich, ST180UG. If anything's going on you believe I need to know about, and you want investigating, and you want sorting out, come to me, because I believe you me, there are only a certain amount of people on the council at the moment who will get anything done for you. Rolf Pearce again, Haywood's independent voice, making a difference in your community. Have a great new year, and we'll be speaking soon. Thank you.